Conceptual Understanding of Ratios for 0 \circ dollar and 90 \circ dollar. Welcome, everyone. Before we dive into today's lesson, let's take a quick look back. In our previous lessons, we used specific geometric constructions to derive the trigonometric ratios for 30 degrees, 45 degrees, and 60 degrees. Now, as we move into this new topic, we face a bit of a logical puzzle. We know that in any right-angled triangle, the two acute angles must add up to 90 degrees. If we follow this rule strictly, it means that in a physical, tangible triangle, an angle cannot be exactly 0 degrees or exactly 90 degrees, while the other angle remains a positive value. If one angle were 90 degrees, the other would have to be 0, and we wouldn't have a triangle anymore. So, how do we find the ratios for 0 degrees and 90 degrees? To do this, we use a mathematical concept called limiting cases. Instead of trying to draw a triangle that doesn't exist, we are going to observe the behavior of the side lengths of a right triangle as one of those acute angles gets closer and closer, approaching, but not quite reaching, 0 degrees or 90 degrees. By watching what happens to the sides as the angle changes, we can mathematically determine the values for these two special cases. Understanding the case for 0 \circ dollar. Let's start by visualizing a standard right-angled triangle, which we'll call triangle A, B, C, with the right angle located at vertex B. For this analysis, I want you to focus your attention on angle A. Imagine that we are slowly shrinking this angle A, making it smaller and smaller as it approaches 0 degrees. Let's break this down step by step. First, let's look at the opposite side. As angle A decreases toward 0 degrees, the side opposite to it, which is side B, C, starts to get shorter and shorter. If we follow this to the extreme limit, where angle A actually reaches 0 degrees, the length of side B, C effectively becomes 0. Next, let's observe what happens to the hypotenuse and the adjacent side. As side B, C shrinks, you'll notice that the hypotenuse, side A, C, is being pulled closer and closer to the adjacent side, side A, B. By the time angle A reaches 0 degrees, the hypotenuse A, C, and the adjacent side A, B effectively overlap or coincide. This means that in this limiting state, the length of A, C is equal to the length of A, B. Now, let's use these observations to derive our trigonometric ratios for 0 degrees. First, for the sine of 0 degrees, we know that sine is the ratio of the opposite side to the hypotenuse. Since the opposite side, BC, is 0, and the hypotenuse, AC, is the same as AB, the calculation becomes 0 divided by AB, which equals 0. Second, for the cosine of 0 degrees. Cosine is the ratio of the adjacent side to the hypotenuse. Here, the adjacent side is AB, and the hypotenuse is also AB, so we have AB divided by AB, which simplifies to 1. Finally, for the tangent of 0 degrees, we can find this by taking the sine of 0 degrees divided by the cosine of 0 degrees. That gives us 0 divided by 1, which results in 0. Now that we've established that we can't physically draw a triangle with a 0-degree angle, let's move on to slide 2, where we'll use the concept of a limiting case to see what happens as we approach 0 degrees. So, we have successfully derived our values for 0 degrees. In the next slide, we will apply this same logic, but in reverse, to see what happens as the angle approaches 90 degrees. Understanding the case for 90 \circ dollar. We will consider the same right-angled triangle, ABC, which is right-angled at B. However, this time, instead of making the angle A smaller, we are going to let angle A increase, pushing it closer and closer to 90 degrees. Let's break this down step by step to see how the sides react. First, let's look at the adjacent side. As angle A increases toward 90 degrees, the vertex A actually moves further away from B along the line OB. Now, for this to still function as a triangle, the side OB, which is the side adjacent to angle A, must start to shrink. In this limiting case, where angle A reaches exactly 90 degrees, the length of side OB effectively becomes 0. Next, let's observe the relationship between the hypotenuse and the opposite side. As that adjacent side OB shrinks, you'll notice the hypotenuse, AC, is forced to move closer to the opposite side, BC. By the time angle A reaches 90 degrees, the hypotenuse AC and the opposite side BC effectively coincide, meaning they become the same line. Therefore, we can say that AC equals BC. Now, let's use this logic to derive our trigonometric ratios. To find the sine of 90 degrees, we take the ratio of the opposite side to the hypotenuse. That is, BC divided by AC. Since we just established that AC is equal to BC, we have BC divided by BC, which simplifies to 1. For the cosine of 90 degrees, we look at the ratio of the adjacent side to the hypotenuse. That is, OB divided by AC. Since the length of OB has shrunk to 0, we have 0 divided by BC, which results in 0. Finally, let's look at the tangent of 90 degrees. We can find this by taking the sine of 90 degrees divided by the cosine of 90 degrees. This gives us 1 divided by 0. As you know from your basic arithmetic, division by 0 is mathematically impossible, so we say that the tangent of 90 degrees is not defined. Now that we have explored what happens when the angle approaches 0, let's flip our perspective. On this slide, we are going to look at the opposite scenario. Let's break this down step by step to see how the sides react. In the next slide, I'll show you a much more intuitive way to visualize this using a simple analogy involving a ladder. Real-world analogy, the leaning ladder. Now, I know that thinking about triangles with 0 or 90-degree angles can feel a bit abstract, as we discussed in the previous slides. To help you visualize these, limiting cases more concretely, let's step away from the geometry textbook for a moment and use a real-world analogy. Imagine a ladder leaning against a vertical wall. In this scenario, let's define the angle that the ladder makes with the ground as angle A. First, let's look at the 0-degree case. Imagine the base of the ladder starts to slide away from the wall, causing the ladder to slide down the wall until it eventually lies completely flat on the ground. As it hits the ground, the height it reaches on the wall, which represents our opposite side, has become 0. At this point, the length of the ladder, which is our hypotenuse, is exactly the same as its distance from the wall, which is our adjacent side. If you look back at our derivations from the previous slide, this perfectly represents why the sine of 0 degrees equals 0, and the cosine of 0 degrees equals 1. Next, let's consider the 90-degree case. Imagine instead that we push the base of the ladder toward the wall until the ladder is perfectly vertical, flush against the wall. In this position, the distance from the base of the wall to the ladder, our adjacent side, has shrunk to 0. Now, the ladder, our hypotenuse, is essentially the same as the height it reaches on the wall, which is our opposite side. This illustrates why the sine of 90 degrees equals 1 and the cosine of 90 degrees equals 0. As we move to the next slide, we will see how these specific values for sine and cosine lead us to understand why some of the reciprocal ratios, like cosecant or secant, actually become undefined. Reciprocal ratios and not defined values. Now that we have explored how the sine, cosine, and tangent behave at these extreme boundaries, let's look at what happens to the reciprocal ratios, that is, cosecant, secant, and cotangent. As you know, these reciprocal ratios are directly derived from the primary ratios we just discussed. Because of this relationship, we run into a specific mathematical hurdle. If a primary ratio equals 0, then its reciprocal involves dividing by 0, which makes that value undefined. Let's apply this logic to the case for 0 degrees. We previously found that the sine of 0 degrees is 0. Therefore, when we calculate the cosecant of 0 degrees, which is 1 divided by the sine of 0 degrees, we end up with 1 divided by 0. As we'll discuss more in our summary, this means the value is not defined. Now let's look at the case for 90 degrees. We established that the cosine of 90 degrees is 0. Following the same rule, the secant of 90 degrees, which is 1 divided by the cosine of 90 degrees, results in 1 divided by 0, making it also not defined. However, let's look at the cotangent of 90 degrees. This is the ratio of cosine of 90 degrees to sine of 90 degrees. Since we know cosine of 90 degrees is 0 and sine of 90 degrees is 1, we have 0 divided by 1, which simply equals 0. So, while some ratios become undefined, others remain perfectly valid. Keep this distinction in mind as we move toward our final takeaways. Key takeaways. First, let's revisit the core concept: limiting cases. As we discussed in the previous slides, we can't physically draw a triangle with a 0-degree or a 90-degree angle. Instead, we find these ratios by observing the behavior of the sides, the opposite, adjacent, and hypotenuse, as the angle approaches these extreme values. Next, let's look at the trends for sine and cosine, which are the foundation of everything else we've studied. For sine, notice the progression. Sine 0 degrees equals 0, and as the angle grows to 90 degrees, sine 90 degrees reaches 1. Conversely, for cosine, the trend is the exact opposite. Cosine 0 degrees starts at 1, and as the angle increases to 90 degrees, cosine 90 degrees drops down to 0. Finally, we must be very careful with undefined values. As we saw when calculating the tangent of 90 degrees or the reciprocal ratios like cosecant 0 degrees and secant 90 degrees, whenever a calculation results in a division by 0, we say that the ratio is not defined. All right, let's bring everything together and summarize the key takeaways from today's lesson. Keep these patterns in mind because in our next slide, we're going to look at some common pitfalls where students often trip up when applying these very rules. Common mistakes. First, be careful not to confuse sine and cosine at these boundary points. It is very common to accidentally swap the values for sine 0 degrees and cosine 0 degrees. To avoid this, just go back to the logic we used in slide 2. Remember that at 0 degrees, the opposite side effectively disappears. Since the sine ratio depends entirely on that opposite side, sine 0 degrees must be 0. Second, please be very careful not to assume that not defined is the same thing as 0. I often see students writing that tangent 90 degrees equals 0, but that is mathematically incorrect. As we discussed when looking at the reciprocal ratios in slide 5, 0 is a specific numerical value, whereas not defined means the operation. Specifically, dividing by 0 simply cannot be performed. There is a massive difference between a result being nothing and a result being impossible to calculate. Finally, avoid the temptation to apply standard triangle formulas directly to these specific angles. You might find yourself trying to draw a triangle that has a 90-degree angle and another 90-degree angle. But as we know, that would make the sum of the angles exceed 180 degrees, which is impossible for any triangle. Instead of trying to construct a physical triangle for these cases, always rely on the limiting case logic we practice today, observing what happens as the angle approaches the boundary. Now, before we wrap up today's lesson, I want to touch on some common pitfalls. As we've seen throughout this session, working with the boundaries of 0 and 90 degrees can be a bit tricky, and I've noticed students often run into the same 3 mistakes. If you keep these distinctions in mind, you'll have a much stronger grasp of these trigonometric boundaries.